If your insurance agent actually told you that you should buy your insurance before 1st of July 2019, just because Bank Negara says that the premium is going to increase drastically, some even say that is 20 to over 50% increase, then he's not telling you everything, or maybe he doesn't even know what is going on at all. You want to know more? Let me try to put it as simple as possible to explain to you what actually happened. You see, in order to understand that, you need to understand how insurance charges are actually worked out. You see, insurance charges is actually against age. It means insurance policies are actually based on time against money. That means as your age goes up, the insurance charges will go up accordingly. Probably the only difference that you would see is when a baby is born until the age of 5. In fact, when a baby is born before the age of 5, the risk of that baby is actually higher than after he's 5 years old, simply because he can't take care of himself. But after that, things are pretty normal. As the age goes up, the insurance charges goes up simply because the risk goes up. Just to illustrate to you, for example, if a person is 20 years old, his insurance charges, let's say for example, is 200 ringgit. By the time he reached 50 years old, his insurance charges would probably goes up to 500 ringgit. So it's as simple as that. Now, that sounds quite logical, but the only problem is, what if he gets older, 70 years old or even more? Look, the insurance charges will become too high for anybody to be able to afford. So this has been going on in the olden days until somebody comes up with something what we call a level premium. Assuming we are looking at a level premium of 300 ringgit, what you can see is that maybe somebody who is at the age of 5 or at the age of 30 or younger don't really need such a high premium of 300 ringgit. But what they are actually doing is accumulating all the extras while he is young, invest this amount so that they can use to support the higher charges at old age. That would mean that this person would be able to continue to pay 300 ringgit all throughout his life. That means he doesn't have to pay too much when he's younger, because he actually have quite a fair bit of savings which was invested to help his old age, which in most cases insurance company would look at an expiry age of 100 years old. Sounds like a great idea, isn't it? Well, it is a great idea all these years until something happened. Rising medical costs and less favorable investment returns. What does that actually mean? It just simply means that medical costs has been rising again and again every single year. In some reports, it is as high as 13-14% a year. A person who had an appendix surgery 10 years ago would probably only cost him 1,000 plus. But today, if you do not have 10,000, I don't think you can get it done in a private hospital. And investment returns, you know, the trade war is going on, the world's economy is not doing well. So all these things affects the insurance charges and the accumulation of returns. How does that actually affect this policy? It will actually push up the insurance charges. Now, this is where the problem starts. Whatever that is accumulated when the policyholder is young are simply insufficient. Look at the brown area. So now, probably the policy can only sustain up to 70 years old. This is what we call a sustainable age of 70 years old, which a lot of insurance agents don't really explain to customers, because most policies still states that the policy actually expires at 100 years old, which is also true because all these policies are designed to expire at 100 years old. That means after 70 years old, the policy will only lapse if there is insufficient fund to continue. But contractually, the insurance company is obligated to ensure that the policy covers up to 100 years old. But that would also mean that after 70 years old, the customers will actually have to pay quite a lot of money to sustain the policy to 100 years old. That sounds like a pretty bad problem, isn't it? But on top of that, to make things worse, due to competition, certain insurance agents even lower down the initial premium. Why do they do that? Simply because maybe an insurance agent quoted this person saying that he needs to pay 300 to get the business. He said mine is 250. What he actually did is that he is lowering the premium, reducing the sustainability without allowing the customers understand the whole thing. This is because most of the time investment linked policies are adjustable. That means the insurance agent can actually adjust the premium, adjust the sustainability in order to be more competitive. But what he or she is actually doing is to reduce the premium for competition, but at the same time, he is reducing the sustainable age of 70 to even 55. That means after 55 years old, if you do not increase your premium, your policy might just lapse. Although you had been paying 250 monthly faithfully all these years. So can you imagine you bought a policy that the insurance agent or the policy actually says that it will expire 100 years old, yet by the time you are 55 years old, your policy is going to lapse because there is insufficient fund to continue it. Sounds like you're being cheated, isn't it? That would cause a lot of commotion. But well, a lot of insurance agents will say, by the time he reached 55, he wouldn't remember what I said in the beginning. Well, Bank Negara understands all this, and they are putting in regulation to control such things. This is what is all about 1st of July 2019. They came out with a regulation stating that if the sustainability of the policy is only 55, they can no longer state that the expiry date is 70 or 100. It got to be 55. Now this really creates a huge panic. I don't know, maybe insurance company will be forced to write letters to customers stating the new expiry date. Or on another hand, if you still want to maintain that expiry at 100 years old, then they have to increase the actual premium that is being paid so that they are able to accumulate enough funds here to sustain the policy till projected age of 100 years old. So this is actually what happened. The increase in premium is not so much of an increase in insurance charges, but actually a cover-up of what was not being done earlier. You see, there are some pointers here I need to share. It is actually not practical for Bank Negara to allow insurance companies to increase premium charges so drastically, as that would affect the whole nation's economy, because if everybody pays more, can you imagine what would happen to the disposable income? And as a matter of fact, there is no increase of insurance charges at all. This is just a gimmick used by agents to get clients to take up policies urgently. Or, like what we said earlier, to cover up for the low premium that they charged when the policy was being taken up in the first place. And number three, there is actually not much differences on your policy whether it is bought 1st of July, before 1st of July, or after 1st of July. As a matter of fact, those bought after 1st of July would have higher levels of transparency, as regulators have stepped in to control the misrepresentation of sustainability and expiry. Generally, in Malaysia, insurance are very much regulated until today. Unless these regulations are totally liberated, that means Bank Negara don't control insurance company anymore. Okay? Then there is no cheap or expensive insurance. If you are paying less, then it just simply means that you're taking up certain risks which the insurance company does not want. So we hope this video had helped you to understand what actually happened. We would appreciate if you would like it, if it really helped you, or if you think that it will benefit your friends, please share with them. Or maybe if you have some other questions, you can message us privately. We'll make sure that it is kept with the highest confidentiality. As you may know, insurance can be complicated at times. Thus, we cannot guarantee that we are able to answer all your questions, but we will do our best to explain to you in the simplest manner. Till next time, thank you very much. Bye bye.